Success Mantra is a program which features people, successful individuals from various walks of life. They are less known heroes who believe in their dreams and have conviction to live their full potential. Idols, icons, innovators who care to live every moment on their own terms.
Welcome to another episode of Success Mantra. Today we have another great milestone of having a consultant who has been in the industry for decades. And Mr. Anil Oberai is also a virtual CIO for a lot of SME organizations where he consults and keeps them safe from all kind of technology frauds and whatever happens on the internet today. So, welcome, Mr. Anil, to the show today. We are really delighted to have you here.
Thank you, Sonali.
Thanks.
It's a pleasure to be invited to your success mantra, and I would definitely try to give some of my success stories to others, so that they can also be benefited by
Sure.
my experiences.
We
Thank
are
you.
really looking forward to that. So before we go ahead and dive into, understanding more about how you really carved out success for yourself, if you could give us a little bit about your journey so far in the industry.
Yeah, sure. See, I've been in the IT industry for nearly more than 3 decades.
Mhm.
I started my career from Wipro Infotech Limited, which is India's number one IT company today. And uh, from there, I moved into different IT companies. I handled jobs in sales and marketing, in business development, and then I came into project management and product management also. So my services. So after all that experiences, my last two positions were at senior most levels in the company. One is at the GM Systems, where all the information systems were under me, and I was responsible for the business support systems implementation of a large telecom company. And the other was as a chief technology officer or a VP technology for a company which is into system integration. So, all these smart cards based projects, which were like driving license and RC certificate and a lot of other things also. They were also all done by my team. So this
Wonderful.
was we were handling the entire operations from Delhi, but I had teams all over India.
Wow.
So then after that, I moved into a BPO where I was responsible for the business process transitioning. I
Mhm.
had gone to USA for about 3.5 months, where I was given the training, and I also went through their regular exams and all that. And I brought in about 7 to 10 of the business processes to India, which are still being executed by by AI now. So that has been my journey so far. And in terms of business process consulting, which is the first thing which I do. So I understand business processes at the top. So I understand business systems. I understand Six Sigma. So Six Sigma is something which is today the quality mantra.
Yeah.
And in all my activities, whether it's project management or it's process management, I always follow Six Sigma. I'm a Six Sigma green belt certified person myself. So this is a
Wonderful.
very good training and certification I had got from people from GE. And then I specialize in terms of after IT infrastructure. The next thing is information security. So I merge all these things together. So you have the business processes at the top, then you have the IT infrastructure, then you have the management, and in the end, you have the implementation of the policies for the organization. And after that, if they require, I provide them training also in terms of various, projects which I've handled for them. So that has
Wow.
been my
That's
overall
wonderful.
thing. And as I said, that I specialize more in terms of senior SME enterprises, because there they cannot really afford a full-time CIO to handle their IT stuff. So I become their CIO for that term of the period, whether it's 6 months or 1 year or 2 years. And in fact, after that also they keep on asking me to come over and help them out in terms of various things. So the job of the CIO is to understand the business very closely, develop the complete architecture of the organization in terms of information systems. Look at it from the competitors' point of view, how they are going, whether it's agile way or it's the process way, and then develop information systems for them depending on their needs. The idea is to meet the critical success factors of the organization through proper in IT implementation, or information system implementation. So that is what I
Wonderful.
do. So I bring a lot of quality business processes, Six Sigma, and the project management. I am also trained and certified for program management program of PMI. So in fact, this certificate that you can see at the back.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, we can see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so that one is from the recent 2 years back. I got the training on this
Wow.
program management.
Yeah. Yeah.
So program management is one step over project management. It's
Mhm.
handling multiple projects together,
Sure.
and more important, project program management is targeted toward expectation management of the customers.
Mhm.
So that
Wonderful.
in brief is
Right. So, yeah, being a black belt Six Sigma certified myself, I can completely relate to the kind of structure that you would be bringing to
yes,
SME organizations where you
yes,
consult with. Right.
yes,
So, also, I just
correct.
wanted to understand currently, I am working with certain CTO and CIOs for the leadership development, and it'll be great to understand that what in your mind in today's industry are the requirements for these kind of leaders in a large corporation, whether it be multinationals or whether it be banks and other industries. So what do you think should be there, apart from the technology side which they already have? What should be the leadership capabilities that these people should have to be able to contribute to the organizational progress?
Yeah, sure. See, in this, I belong to the old school of thought.
Mhm.
That is what I like to put it very clearly. I
Mhm.
believe in the fact that information systems are very critical to the business, which today also people understand.
Absolutely.
E-commerce is all based on information systems.
Right.
But at the same time, the approach which currently people are trying to take, the agile approach,
Mhm.
that has its own problems, because there is no documentation, there is no handover to the next person or the next company, the next vendors when the earlier people have completed the work. So the handover becomes a little problematic. Yes, whatever the management wants gets implemented, but
Right.
then after that, if they want to change it, change is very, very difficult.
Sure.
In fact, I'm facing a lot of these queries from different CIOs, and they say, that ye humne implement kiya tha in this year, and now the requirements have changed. So
Mhm.
can you help us out in cloud migration? So
Mhm.
cloud migration is becoming very, very important. And it's a very good thing, in fact, because cloud migration. So that is one thing I like to implement. I like to suggest to the CTOs that wherever possible, try to go with the cloud, whether it's AWS or Google or Azure. Your task will get very simplified. But at the same time, please keep consultant on board so that your business needs are properly translated to business processes. See,
Mhm.
what happens is, in my own experience, I've seen that whenever companies they put their ERP consultants, yes, the business processes are studied, but they will always try to match it to their own requirements. The gap fit analysis which they do is highly customized to their own requirements. It should be customized to the businesses,
Business.
the businesses, and the changes business which the people expect. It should be more customizable for that. So what happens is that tomorrow, once you implemented SAP, you become a guinea pig of SAP. So
Mm.
always you will have to go with SAP, SAP, SAP. In fact, a lot of people who are early implementing SAP R3 are today tied up with ABAP. ABAP is the programming language of SAP, and they
Sure.
want to know how to get out of. how to get out of it.
Right.
So I've been suggesting, a three-way strategy for them in terms of moving into cloud and moving into things like open system like Java,
Mm-hmm.
which are today open, and there are a lot of developers available. But at the same time, there should be some pinnacle, who does the overall monitoring, because today's management, they are so bothered about change management, they're bothered about human resources management, financial management, that they don't get time to look at the technology aspects. So
Mm.
if a company is not having those many resources, please come to us, people who have burnt our hands and fingers on different projects. We'll help them out in setting
Right.
a good roadmap
Sure.
and following a good process along with agile. I'm saying agile is good, but along with that, please
Right.
do change management through a consultant.
Right. Right. All right. So, like, Anil, the thing is that you have been in the industry for such a long time. What is your feel in terms of the competencies of maybe students or professionals who want to come into your kind of profession?
Yeah, a really very good question. In fact, this is what I keep on writing in my blogs also. I'll send
Mhm.
you a link of my blog.
Sure, sure.
Uh, See, today what happens is that there is a lot of gap between the industry and the students.
Mm-hmm.
When the students graduate, they
Yeah,
come with very high expectations.
true.
But the industry is wanting a person to know a lot of things about the business side also.
Mm-hmm.
So we tell the industry people, the business people, that please don't expect this from poor old programmers of C or C++ or Java. They
Mm.
don't know too much about your business side.
Right.
So you cannot put them directly into the business side. Put
Mm-hmm.
them into development of internal information systems. So this is very important. This again, like I like to emphasize. See,
Mm.
there are two kind of information system. One is internal information system or management information system. The
Mm.
other is the ones which are business information systems.
Right.
So for business information systems, you're going to have a proper system analyst role, which
Mm.
can be played by people like me. I've done a lot of
Sure.
system analysis. So
Mm.
we match the business needs to the process needs to the technology needs, and
Mm.
then give them a good document, and that can be used. Usme document में it has the role of developers, the project managers, the CIOs, and the top management. It has complete roadmap of all of them. So once the document is ready, you can give the development work to the developers from the colleges. So I find this is the biggest gap, that
Mhm.
they don't know, the students, they don't know anything about the industry or the businesses, and the businesses don't know anything about the developers. So they
Right.
just go to prime institutions, look at their own questionnaires which are there, and
Right.
based on that they just select them,
They
and
just
they
hire the
just
people.
expect them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So they don't have proper IT managers or engineering managers
Mm.
to coach them, to help them out in terms of their problems.
Mm.
So there's a big gap. The person who understands the business side is not there in most of the companies, and straightway they're reporting to a very senior person who's named as a vice president, but then he doesn't know anything on the development side. He doesn't
Right.
know what is project life cycle. He keeps
Sure.
on changing requirements very often.
Absolutely.
So you got to follow a proper cycle.
Mm.
That's what we advise the people.
Wonderful. Uh, Another thing is that, like, how did you land up coming into IT? Because, it's an interesting field. Did you always plan to come into this industry, or was it something which just came upon by accident? How was it?
Okay. Yeah, in fact, that's a very good point. I my journey starts from my institute, which is Birla Institute of Technology, Mesra, Ranchi,
Mm,
BIT Mesra.
mm.
And there, there was an entrance test. In the test, I came second in India in the
Wow,
all India entrance test.
wonderful.
And after that, they asked me, already, the state we offered me electronics and communication engineering.
Right,
So I went through the whole 5 years program. That time we had a 5 years program of BE
right.
or BSc engineering, and I went through that. And then during the last phase, we were aware of different industries and what kind of requirement they're having. I
Mm,
always had a flair for programming. I used to be a Fortran 4 programmer and basic programmer in my college days also.
Mm.
And I said, "Okay, this is my right line that I should take." After that, I got selected at Bhabha Atomic Research Center, BARC.
Okay.
So in BARC in Trombay, in Bombay,
Mm.
we had a training program of 1 year, a very intensive training program, in
Mm.
which, apart from electronics, we were also taught about programming and all that, COBOL and Fortran at that time.
Okay.
So there also I was very very interested in that, and mathematics has been my strength area, in my college days, school days also, mathematics and physics.
Sure.
So all this put together with electronics background put me into looking at uh, programming line. And I was programming line after BRC training school. I was selected in one department where I had to work with microprocessors. So it had its own language called assembly, macro assembly language.
Okay.
So I used to be working on macro assembly language and got very much addicted to it,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to write programs apart from hardware development. So that's how the journey began. Then after that, I got a break in Wipro,
Mm.
and then with DCM, CMC Limited is now been taken over by TCS. I had
Mm-hmm.
a long stint there with HCL Infosystems, and then into senior management roles in IT company.
Wow. So you have had a wonderful path of one success after the other. So
Absolutely.
what does success really mean to you, having achieved so many milestones and laurels in life, and you're in your chosen field, which you are very passionate about? So in terms of all of these achievements, what does success mean to you?
Yeah. So success, the short-term aspects of success is to get a few claps or appreciations.
True.
So which I have been fortunate, I've been getting it. And
Mm.
the long term aspect of success is meeting customer expectations time and again
Mm-hmm.
over a long period. So you
Right.
mean you define your path, you're already aware of Six Sigma, then you
Yeah.
measure it, then you
Right.
improve it, and
Absolutely.
then you analyze it and control it.
Sure.
So that is what success. If you can do all this five phases properly, I
Mm-hmm.
think that is what success means to me.
Fantastic.
So I've been fortunate, and I never follow a particular method or methodology. I always devise my own methodology
Mm.
based on these process, and I'm very process oriented.
Sure.
So a process oriented approach will never leave you high and dry. Today, like what I find in different companies. In fact, today you can see even in the vaccine application, the
Sure.
COVID applications. So a
Right.
lot of problems are coming. A lot of problems coming. And
Mm.
why the problems are coming? Because probably they didn't go through rigorous testing.
Mm.
So it's been given over to a company like Mahindra or whatever it is. They developed the software and it's been accepted by the government,
Mm.
and so that's been put into use. And
Okay.
they hope that things will sort out by themselves. But a lot of bugs are there. That stress testing,
Mm.
see, there are three kind of one is the black box, the white box, and the stress. So white box has the stress testing also. So that is not being properly done. So the scaling of the server, the problems of internet, they're all to be taken care of right in the beginning.
Right.
So when you do the development itself, or when you do the system analysis, we do this test cases along with every development phase. So
Absolutely.
once that is done, so that is what I refer to as my earlier in terms of the old school of thought.
Mm.
And so that is again a part of success. People who have implemented things as per the old school of thought, they have already met with success.
Mm.
And people who do changes very frequently, who follow businesses very frequently, but they don't look at the information system aspect, they keep on falling into these kind of problems.
Mm. Mm. Wonderful. So it's all in the process and how
All
you
in the
did
process,
it.
absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yes, yes, yes,
And
yes.
and in this journey of being in the process, delighting the clients, consistently achieving their, like whatever vision they have versus whatever advisory that you're providing, what are the behaviors or traits which has really helped you in terms of plug in these gaps, and also not only in professional but also in personal life?
Yeah, sure. See, one expectation which people have is that that you'll be able to handle everything
Mm.
So in my proposal itself, I make it very clear that you see, I am a consultant, I'm an advisor for you,
Mm.
and your team will be reporting to me for the time duration of project.
Sure.
So the other problem which comes in, is moment you say the team will be reporting, the people sometimes think that this is a serious problem for us. He'll be a threat to us. My job is at stake. So
Right.
I first of all, the first thing which I do is I win their confidence. I said, look here, you see, I am your friend. I
Mm.
bring in 30 plus years of experience. I've handled so many people like you.
Right.
So I'm not going to be here permanently. I'm going to only improve your existing thing which are there. I
Mm.
don't tell them the problems. Management tells me about them.
Right.
Because management, when I do the initial management survey,
Mm.
which is for about typically 7 to 10 days, they tell me so many problems, personal as well as interpersonal as well as technology side,
Mm.
which I don't disclose to them.
Mm.
But I said I'll be on the side of improvement always. So look at me as your elder brother or as your friend,
Mm.
and I'll try to help you out in terms of everything that you go. And my job is here is only temporary. After that, I'm going to go,
Mm.
and you can be rest assured. I'll give you a very good rating in my appraisal also. And so you need to win, the confidence of the people at the information technology level. This happens very often. The project managers, the senior project managers, they always feel a threat. They always feel a threat from a CIO who's coming in and say, I said, okay, your job is different. My job is different. My job is to look at the management side and translate it into very simple terms for you so that you could do your job very well. And I'll also try to help you out in terms of the latest technologies, the latest processes, and try to do waste elimination. So this is one of my main focus areas also. In fact, there was a company where they had the old Pentium 1 based machines,
Mm.
and a whole lot of them were there. They
Mm.
say our technology head is not taking them. They always want the latest machines,
Right.
and so on the servers also, the internet also, they keep on asking for more and more speed. So I said, let me do a proper analysis,
Mm.
and that analysis will itself come out with reports, and in the report I'll mention what is the best way to utilize them. So you
Mm.
won't believe that out of I could utilize about 60% of the older stuff that they have.
Mm.
So there was that was a saving of nearly 75 lakhs for them.
Wow. That's
So I
really.
said, you're paying me so little, and
Mm.
I'm saving 75 lakhs for you, and
Mm.
I'm putting your hardware to good use. It's
Mm.
all assembled hardware and the stuff which is there, but I'm putting it to good use, and they were very happy. They said we like to use you for other assignments also. So that
Fantastic.
is one thing. Yeah,
That's
expectations.
really
Expectations.
interesting. Like, is that really possible with technology waste in terms of even, at a household level, that it can be recycled, reused, and there can be some form of use for the old laptops, old systems, and phones, etc.?
Yes, very much, very much. See, what happens is that today, unless you are a gaming addict, I
Hmm.
mean, internet can run on even a Pentium 1 machine.
Right.
It can run on Android. It can run on any platform. So
Hmm.
use it for petrol, for running internet.
Right.
Don't play games on that. Don't play very serious number crunching on that, because for that you need a more powerful CPU. But yes, if it's not multitasking, if it's a single tasking, where
Hmm.
multitasking is required, you can use your latest laptop. But
Hmm.
for things like this, the Zoom conference that we are having,
Hmm.
a Pentium 1 machine is good enough. I
Sure.
don't need anything more than that.
Right. Right.
So that is putting the waste into proper use.
Hmm. Fantastic. No, because sometimes we blindly say that, okay, something is just a waste and we don't need to use it anymore. But if it can be
Yes,
used, then it's
yes,
adding less carbon footprint to the world.
yes. Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely, absolutely.
So, and
Very
that's
right.
something that, very few people really have awareness about and practice. Any
Correct.
thoughts on that? How we could increase the awareness of people or citizens really working towards reducing their carbon footprint on Earth.
Footprint. Yeah, in fact, that's a very good point. While I was in USA
Mm,
for that company which I was mentioning, the BPO,
mm.
observed that in California state they have a tax for reducing of carbon footprint.
Oh,
So the
wow.
larger the larger the screen,
Mm.
the higher will be the tax. So that is something which is can be implemented in India also. Today, if I have a mobile phone,
Huh.
the larger the size of the mobile phone will
Mm.
bring more carbon into the environment.
Oh.
So it automatically brings this feeling that why are we paying so much tax for that? Let's
Mm,
reduce the usage. An iPad can do the same work which today a laptop can do.
mm,
Today, in fact, you can get very, very high storage also. You can get up to 1 terabyte, which is
mm.
the same as in my laptop. You can get, Snapdragon processors, which are really very, very fast.
Wow.
So a small, an 8-inch iPad can do the same work which a, good old laptop could do.
Sure.
So we need to reduce the size. The one thing is, in terms of reducing the size, don't increase the size of the displays too much,
Mm,
and try to government should have curves on that,
mm.
so that the people are not, encouraged to use a very large size displays and so on. So
True.
that is one. The second thing is that, as I said, that for everything we need not have the fastest processor, the fastest
Mhm.
machine. Let's look at the needs.
Right.
Today, a Nokia phone can work very well for voice.
Mm,
The good old Nokia phone.
mm,
Yes, but today a smartphone gives you many more advantages. But unless you are addicted to WhatsApp and Facebook and all that on just phone, you can use that phone itself. In fact, it's much more clearer on that, a
mm.
2G phone.
Right.
So
Right.
so such kind of things, we can definitely use. As I said in my earlier assignment, I used their existing hardware, which
Mm,
was consisting of 486 as well as Pentium 1 machines also
sure.
for some of the applications.
Mm,
Where not too much of number crunching is involved and not too much of processing is involved. So
mm,
there you could use the same machines, and
sure.
it works beautifully.
Sure. So another thing is today we see the usage of social media at its hilt, right?
Yeah,
So whether
yeah, yeah.
it's email, whether it's WhatsApp, whether it's any of these formats,
Correct, correct.
there's like a totally, what should I say, people are overwhelmed at times,
Yes,
and it
yes,
it
yes.
seems like the only way to, you are a business person, we all run businesses in some form or the other. So what do you think can be done to minimize, because everyone wants to get onto social to have the connectivity, to have the reach in the market, etc. And it becomes a necessary evil sometimes, for us. But like my daughter happens to be a great, what should I say, believer in
Uh,
creating a ecosystem
yeah.
which is not so much dependent on computers, or having such a lot of usage of internet, etc. So what is the way that we can go back or maybe cut down some of these ways, yet not impact the top line or the bottom line of our business?
Yeah, in fact, that's a very good question. See, if you remember, the first form of messaging was email,
Right.
right?
Right.
Email has gone through numerous changes and all that, but
Mm,
I still feel that email is the best form of communication.
mm,
You see, today what happens is that email can carry media, it can carry videos, it can carry voice, it can carry everything. It can
okay.
carry documents. So hey, Usman.
Mm, mm,
But email is the best medium.
mm,
Now, what has happened is with things like WhatsApp and Instagram and all that, all these things coming in. Today, a person becomes addicted to the phone.
right.
So the nearer you bring it to your head and all that, there's something called a specific absorption rate (SAR).
Okay.
So the SAR rating of the phones should be specified before you buy it.
Uh-huh.
Please buy phones which are specified by SAR rating of say zero point 0.8 or so, because this is very, very important. Otherwise, you start getting brain tumors. And most of the Chinese phones, sorry to use that word, Most Chinese phones, they don't even specify the SR rent. Even if they specify, it will not be exactly
But
whatever they
even the
specify.
best of brands are being manufactured in China.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. No, but but at least the quality control is there. See,
Okay.
they do something called a CE, which is self certification.
Okay.
But when an iPhone manufacturer is manufacturing something in China, they
Mm.
will look at it from the iPhone from the US standards. So
Do
they will
they
not
really
let
have
the
those things in place, or is it
yeah
just a
they
branding
have they have
word? Okay.
they have. In fact,
Okay.
Samsung. I'm not marketing them, but their SAR rating is one of the lowest, and
Okay.
you'll never face any problems, if you're using a Samsung phone.
Mm.
But yes, I've faced problems with some of the other brands which I would not like to mention right now.
Sure.
So that is one thing, the effect of social media. The other is that try to use store and forward methods. Let me
Taking
explain
what?
that.
Ah,
Store and forward.
yeah.
So instead of instant message coming in,
Mm.
try to use SMS.
Okay.
So what an SMS does is that even if you're not within the network range, you
Mm.
will get the you will get the message once you're in the network.
Okay.
So the message remains stored in the server, and
Mm.
moment your link is established with the network, you will get the message.
Mm.
So the safest form of messaging is SMS, which is called text messaging.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't approve the WhatsApp and the Instagram and Facebook because
Mm.
they are too addictive, and people just get glued to them, and they start playing games and all that, and eventually harming themselves.
Right.
So this is one major reason, why people are getting all these problems of headaches and dizziness and so on, and they are not able to sleep well,
Sure.
sleep apneas and all that. It's because of this reason. So use SMS as far as possible. The use headphones the way I'm using.
Mm.
Don't bring the phones very close to your head.
Sure.
Take these precautions, and then there are certain precautions in the information security area,
Mm.
cyber security. In terms of revealing cyber security is built on three pillars:
Mm.
confidentiality, integrity, and acceptability. We have to keep the things confidential as much as possible. Don't fill up everything, all the forms which people want. Keep
Mm.
the integrity, very, very important. That means whatever you store, you should be able to see that. Only you should be able to see that. So if you follow these things, then password should not be shared with anybody. So I have a whole lot of list of do's and don'ts for
Right.
information security.
Mm. But like you said, WhatsApp and Instagram and Facebook and so on and so forth. Do you think not using them, especially by the new age entrepreneurs, is going to impact the overall, kind of success of their business?
Yes, see that is what you're saying is very true. It will impact to some extent, but as I said that use them only in office. Don't use them at homes.
Okay.
See, when you're in the office or during that office time of lockdown period, 7 to 8 hours, use it during that time. After that, just shut it up
Mm.
so that you get at least a 12 hours of non IT invasion on yourself.
Mm. Mm.
Try to minimize the use as far. I definitely agree with you that the way the things are, everybody wants things immediately available. The project have to be done on a immediate basis. Project management tools are available today online.
Mm.
Everybody wants things online,
Right. Right.
ASAP.
Mm.
So use it during your business time. Businesses depend on a lot on your efficiency. Your efficiency depends on the usage of these tools.
Sure.
But then after business hours, please switch off this. Go to your good old TV, watch your TV programs from a distance of at least 15 feet, and try to minimize the use of all these tools and smartphones and all that for this purpose.
Sure.
Because in fact, my phone is always in the silent mode,
Mm.
so I just see the notification and then I pick it up. So
Mm.
try to use these things. You'll find definitely an improvement in your own
Sure.
health and your own concentration. Yeah, I agree with you. For business efficiency purposes, yes, it is required, but use it only when you're doing business. You know,
Right.
either you're a customer or you're a client or you're a owner.
Mm-hmm.
So in either of these cases, use it only during that time.
Right. Fantastic. So, fortunately, unfortunately, the progress in technology, IT, and this entire space has really hijacked a lot of simple things in our life, and we
Yes,
can't do
absolutely.
much about
Right.
it.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
yes, yes.
So,
Right, right.
the other thing is, you have had so many great achievements. In your mind, what has been the greatest achievement when you look back?
Okay. See, there was a company which was starting up here, which was a part of a big hero group. And this company had a very clear mandate. They
Mm,
wanted to start offering these, scratch cards and, these recharge cards.
mm.
This was a long time back, when there was no online. You remember those prepaid
Right, right.
cards amount,
Mm,
so उसको scratch करके or you buy it from the market. They
mm,
wanted to start this on a point of sale basis from kirana shops. A very
mm.
unique concept.
Right.
Kirana shops are, today they don't have the equipment for that. They don't have a computer also. So
Mm,
what they did was they offered them, these simple machines which are today, you have a small typewriter on that. You can enter that value,
mm,
and it basically it works on a internet mode,
mm.
or basically on a telephone mode,
Sure.
and so they wanted to profilate the market to that. This company was a hero group company, I said. So when they launched this program,
Mm,
they immediately went into a lot of problems. So
okay.
the information systems side was being headed by a friend of mine, a very senior person, who got a lot of career and a lot of experience in TCS and other organizations. So he called me. He says, "Anil, why don't you come over? And we are facing these kind of problems. Our developers are not able to understand our needs. There are too many bugs coming in, and can you help us out?" So then I went there and I did a 3-month assignment for them, where I went through entire the business processes side and so on. I corrected a lot of them. I understood the developers strategy of developing the systems, and then I tried to do the gaps analysis and so on. And immediately, I can tell you that they were getting about 278 or 258 bugs in a week's time. And with my rigorous effort, it reduced to just 7 to 8 bugs.
Fantastic.
So that shows how we are gradually going towards Six Sigma. Six Sigma is of course the
Yeah.
ideal,
Yeah.
but my process approach helped a lot in that.
Mm,
Then, based on my success there, they said, "Okay, we like to give you some more assignments." So one after the other, they gave me assignment. I did the disaster recovery for them because
wow.
they are like a bank. So
Mm,
they had about 258 of their resellers across the NCR and Delhi and all that,
mm.
and they were accepting money from them for Airtel, for Vodafone. So they were acting like a bank. So they
Right.
said, "We want a proper information security and disaster recovery systems in place. So can you
Mm,
help out with that?" So
mm.
I helped them out in terms of doing all that thing. And, a lot of my stress testing earlier with the earlier vendor helped me out in this also. So
Mm.
I developed this information system security plan and the disaster recovery plan for them. That suppose in case everything fails, their system should also, should keep on working. So it required the risk analysis, they required the mitigation analysis,
Right.
and then complete plans of going about businesses. So disaster recovery plan was another thing which they liked very much, and the MD, he praised me a lot. He gave me a lot of testimonials also.
Excellent.
And so one after the other, I kept on getting about 7 consulting assignments I got from them, one after the other
Mm,
over a period of 3 years' time. I think this was my very good assignment. The second was, in a company which was into BPO,
mm,
and they were doing this, bid processing for a company in US.
Mm.
and the people out there were just not happy. They were canceling the entire contract. It's a 2.5 crores contract with them, and they were
Mm.
canceling the contract. So
Mm.
some a friend of mine, he asked me, he said, when do you come for an interview? Because they know that I've got the business processes understanding very well.
Mm.
And they said, you come over and let's have an interview, a chat.
Mm.
And in that process, I got selected. And then they said, first, we'd like you to understand all our hardware and software that we sell, and
Mm.
then help us out in not only the bids processing, but also in so many other business processes that we want to offload to India. So I
Mm.
was sent along with a team of three people from India. We shared a room on the outskirts of Seattle, and I used to go every day to the company with holding different interviews with the different people.
Mm.
And finally, I transitioned about five major processes to India, and they were all based on Six Sigma.
Wow.
And they had definition, measurement was very sacrosanct. Then
Mm.
improvement, and then changeover management in how to change the things. So it was complete documentation I did for them,
Mm.
and they were very happy, and they gave me a lot of testimonials on that. There is another assignment which was very good. So I would say these two were my best assignments.
Mm, excellent. So, like so many achievements and so many successes, have you ever come across any kind of failure which has kind of impacted you? And if so, how do you deal with them?
Okay, yeah. See, I'll tell you. See, there was a company where I worked, and in addition to project management you see, project management is a different ball game altogether. I'm taken as a project manager,
Mm.
and they asked me to do business development.
Mm.
So I said there are two different cups of tea. Business development is a different thing. Project management is different. So just because the
Absolutely.
company is not getting enough orders,
Mm.
you ask me to become a salesman
Mm.
and take out my stuff. And I said, I've been taken for project management. Where are the projects? So the
Mm.
projects will come only if you sell. So then I said, you should taken me on a business development role. Why do you take me on project management role?
True.
So people management should be clear in terms of when they are recruiting senior people or even middle people, what exactly do they have in mind?
Mm.
If they don't have enough projects, you please don't take project managers and keep them idle.
Mm.
You utilize them for business development,
Mm.
right? You can't mold project manager. Chalo, aap aa gaye ho. Please do this kind of role. So
Mhm.
that is one area which I found. Because and then secondly, a lot of times they expect people to be acting as salesmen and
Mm.
giving bribes and all that to the government officials, which my ethics doesn't allow.
Mm.
So I said, I'm basically a technology head,
Mm.
and I like to remain as a technology head.
Mm.
टेक्नोलॉजी में कोई प्रॉब्लम्स हो तो मुझे बताइए. In fact, in one last company where I worked,
Mm.
uh, they were accepting these payment for you seen the RC, driving car
Yeah,
का
yeah,
RC
yeah,
होता है
yeah.
ना,
Ah.
registration certificate, that's on a smart card.
Mm.
Now that smart card my company was making completely right from start to finish. So
Okay.
उसमें problem is that they were accepting the payment from the RTOs by cash from customer directly. So it was a project which was PPP model.
Mm.
You know, PPP model में it was basically private public partnership होता है ना. तो
Okay.
उसमें ये होता है, we were allowed to directly charge from the customer an amount of 350 rupees per card.
Mm.
So then they said, okay, instead of this cash, we like to move into check.
Mm.
Can you develop a system for check? I
Mm.
said, yes, I can do it.
Mm.
So with my team, I developed the system within 1 month, exactly 1 month's time.
Mm.
So it started accepting checks, and from the recognized banks of India, and really fast implementation, I would say that.
Mm.
And it was implemented very successfully. और
Sure.
इस कंपनी के लिए मैंने काफ़ी सारा वो क्वालिटी कंट्रोल भी किया था
Mm.
with my expertise in Six Sigma and all that.
Mm.
I went over to US and to Singapore to their vendors and found out really the root cause. The
Mm.
root cause analysis using Pareto is
Mm.
something which I used to do,
Sure.
and identifying the real root causes, identifying the 20% which cause 80%
Mm.
failure,
Yeah.
and then helping out in terms of removing those problems.
Mm.
So after that, I generated a document and
Mm.
I gave it to Samsung in Singapore
Mm.
and a company in USA
Mm.
and Laser Card Corporation.
Mm.
or they started following my template. So after that, the problems disappeared.
Nice.
So this is, when you do a complete testing yourself,
Mm.
you come to know the real problems at their end.
Fantastic.
And so you become a part of their team as such, understand their difficulties, their grievances, their pains,
Mm.
and help them out in terms of sorting them out. At the same time, my own team had to be motivated. So I said, the next time I will not go. You make a trip to USA or Singapore or whatever it is. If you are doing very fine in your work,
True.
so that keeps them motivated.
Nice. So, apart from all this professional work, etc., you are also a musician.
Oh
So,
yes, 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 yes.
like, how do you manage time in terms of practice? Because being a musician, the
Riyaz.
biggest thing is taking time out to practice. So, how do you achieve that?
Very right. Ma'am, actually, in this regard, I like to take an example of Dr. Bhaba, Dr. Raja Ramana, because I worked in Bhaba Atomic Research
Yeah,
Center.
I know.
I've seen, of course, these two stalwarts were there. Dr. Bhaba was not there.
Mm.
But I know they used to practice a lot of
Mm-hmm.
sitar and tanpura and all that, after they used to
Okay.
go home.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to read a lot about that. I said, why don't we start? I also start doing that same thing. So
Right.
that's, I already had a flavor of music in my blood.
Mm.
My mother used to be a good singer,
Oh,
and
nice.
but not classically trained and all that, but वैसे गाते थे.
Mm.
तो मुझे उनसे इंस्पिरेशन बड़ी मिलती. इनफैक्ट she used to write the lyrics for me in Hindi,
Wow.
for the old songs and all that. I used to read from the book and recite those songs.
Nice. Mm.
So it's come as a kind of a legacy to me, and unki inspiration hai. Plus, I've seen that a lot of, in fact, even Sushma Swaraj,
Mm.
she's an excellent flute player. She was
Oh,
an excellent flute player. Yes, yes, yes.
seriously.
Very good, very good.
Wow.
So all these people impressed me, and I found that music is the best stress reliever. So
Mm.
after your office, after your work is over, just spend about an hour, 2 hours doing riyaz,
Mm.
practice. Practice is very, very important,
Very critical.
and very critical. And then when you do practice and all that, in my case, I'm a harmonica player as well as a singer, so
Okay.
it ultimately helps me out in terms of doing pranayam also.
Uh,
So if I don't do it in the morning, I can do it in the evening. तो मैं
mm.
बैठे बैठे वो प्राणायाम भी हो जाता है, माउथ का एक्सरसाइज हो जाता है, हैंड्स का हो जाता है. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise.
Right.
I try to match the two things. So one is a
But
professional
it's a
side, which is
lot of breathing coordination to
yeah,
play the
yes,
harmonica, right?
yeah, very much, very much,
So
very
would
much,
you play
very much.
something, like quick for us?
Oh, sure, sure, definitely. This song I think which I'll play today is a song for which nobody has any answer.
Oh,
This is a famous song from Bob Dylan.
mm.
Bob Dylan, the famous
Yeah, yeah.
singer as well as writer, very good writer also,
Mm.
composer also. So he used to play also harmonica.
Wow.
So I'll play his song. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.
Sure. Please.
So I'll start with the first two stanzas. I'll sing them up, and
Mm.
then the last stanza I'll try to play on harmonica.
Beautiful.
Please tell me the volume is fine.
Yeah.
To be free. How many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
fantastic, awesome. Calls for a round of applause. Thank you so
Thank you, ma'am.
much for, like playing those
Of course.
beautiful memories from the past.
Yeah.
And of course, thank you for taking time out for this wonderful interaction. And we look forward to work with you.
Well, I think I must really thank you. I think the questions you asked were really very intelligent and very apt for the kind of business scenario in which we are today. And I hope that a lot of work which I've done would be definitely useful to the others. What I'll do is I'll send you links of my
Awesome.
my presentations,
Mhm.
and you could put it on your website and share it with others.
Absolutely. Before we, part today, what is this one success mantra that you would like to share with our audience?
Okay, yeah. See, the one success mantra which I would like to share is that, always look at uh, the expectations of the customer from a little medium to long term point of view. I mean, it's not that, to be done on a jiffy basis or a agile basis. So, because your remembrance should be there in the customer mind for 20, 25 years that whatever work you've done is meeting their requirements. People understand that things change very often.
Mhm.
Things change very often, but definitely a process route will follow that very, very closely. So
Sure.
we need to have people who can define processes and change processes very quickly as per the business needs. But let's follow process route for all successes and let it be there. Let the success be there for a longer time than what it is there today.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And, like all the best for all the initiatives that you take in future. You are tremendously passionate about your clients. And I'm
Thank you.
sure that you will keep adding the value that you have been doing for last 3 decades.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonali ma'am. Thank you so much.